What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge. It is Sunday, September 11th. Let us not ever forget what this day means for us here in the United States of America. But today, it is Sunday. Today is week one. Today is what America is truly all about. Week one of the NFL, and this is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. And it's really not close. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we did on Saturday before we get set for a huge day today on Sunday. Our non-football picks. Late last night, Buckets hit that both teams to score. Few too many X's for my liking, but there were some bad beats already on day one. North Carolina, that game doesn't go over. Remarkable. But we're back. And let me just point out, there's one person who is undefeated in college football. You're looking at him right here. I'm undefeated. I'm kidding. We only made the one pick. Look at my OGs. Are you kidding me? This is what Sunday brunch was made for. This is what I'm talking about. So, first and foremost, the man who named the show live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level, M Squared. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Happy Sunday brunch to everyone. Happy week one of the NFL season. I'm fired up. Let's go for it. Got a beautiful play I love here on the show. And, of course, all the plays from the Mega Preview on Tuesday.
You're damn right. Alex in the chat says, oh, snap. We've got RJ, the stoic one. RJ, good morning, sir.
Good morning. It was an interesting Thursday game, just harkening back a few days. It was weird that Sean McVay signed an extension and then went out and spent that money on a cursed, ancient, mystical skull, and Freaky Friday swapped bodies with Jason Garrett and started running into the line every first down. So I'm going to be looking at that moving forward and see if he can get his body back and get back to calling some good plays.
Oh, my goodness, that was brutal. And then, Cam Akers needs to find his comfort zone, according to Sean McVay. Now, we do not do the NFL without this man being a huge part of it. Maestro, Larry Hartstein, welcome back to Sundays in the NFL, sir.
It's so good to be here. And I would argue, RJ, that Sean McVay had that issue late last season in the playoffs as well, but he just had a quarterback who was healthy. He had better receivers in terms of OBJ, was able to overcome it. But anyway, let's get to today. It's a packed show.
Oh, we got a packed show today, so let's get to it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And I tell you what, these are the type of things that people don't think about a lot, but they absolutely matter. Who are the referees and the officials for certain games? Maestro, start us off.
Yeah, my good buddy Joe Gibbs over at NFL Ref Stats, he crunches the numbers on every single ref, and the Dolphins really lucked out this week. I know a lot of people are on them. I think they're going to have a great year, and I think they're going to win today. I don't want to lay more than a field goal, but they have the number one home field ref in John Hussey, 64-33 all time in divisional games, 28-10 against the spread. And you also have a couple of penalties that the Dolphins struggled with last year, like roughing the passer and illegal use of the hands. John Hussey barely calls those at all. So it sets up beautifully for a Miami win.
Okay, and we like Miami, and a lot of people are on the Dolphins today, so maybe that'll be a nice little marriage there. Now, the other thing that is always so incredibly important, whether you're playing fantasy or whether you are straight betting, and that, of course, the injury report. RJ, you're up.
Yeah, injury is not as big a factor in week one when everybody had that time off and didn't play much in the preseason, but it is still a factor. 49ers unlikely to have George Kittle, so we'll see how that affects their offense. The Jets lost Mekhi Becton at tackle, and they responded by signing Dwayne Brown and shifting George Fant to right tackle. Well, now Dwayne Brown's on the IR, so just a lot of issues there at tackle for them. And speaking of issues at tackle, the Packers are expected to be down not just Allen Lazard, but both their starting offensive tackles. Now, the guy that's playing left tackle was actually pretty solid last year, so that might not be as big an issue there, but that certainly hurts their depth, and we're seeing that in the market. Those Green Bay injuries moved the line from Green Bay -1.5 earlier in the week to pick them on Friday, and now it's Minnesota 1.5. So we've seen it flip 3 points based around those injuries. So hopefully you were able to get Minnesota earlier. We did put it in on the site on Friday when it looked like the injuries were trending that way at +1.5 Minnesota.
All right, very good. We will keep people up to date every single week on the injury report on every single day because it matters to get that right number. By the way, we have a stacked day for you today. Just like in years past, we will have two more live shows today, noon Eastern time. We will break down every single 1 o'clock game, every single 4 o'clock game, and get you ready for because we come back at 7:30 to get you ready for Sunday Night Football. The Bucks and the Cowboys tonight. We've got you covered all day long. Now, before we get to our board, we got to pay those pesky little bills. Let's hear from one of our incredible partners. And we are back. All right. Now, you know where we start with these three. It's very, very clear. Mike, you said you have a play that you love. Well, you know the drill. Son! Oh, on a day where the U.S. Open is going to crown a new champion. And you've got soccer all over the place, but we're laser focused on the NFL. So give it to me.
All right, player prop time here. We're going Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. I'm attacking his receiving prop. It is a pretty healthy number at 37.5, but it's one that I still like. He's a player we've routinely seen the number be between 29 and as high as 46, 47, depending on game. I think the number's just a little soft here, though, at 37.5, considering what Aaron Rodgers has to work with. Obviously, Devontae Adams gone, but the receiver core also banged up. Offensive line banged up a little bit here. I see a lot of passing volume headed in the direction of Aaron Jones here. When we're playing a number above around 24 points, 24 yards is about the tipping point for running backs. I'm looking for someone who has the skill set to absolutely get there in one play. Aaron Jones can do that, has done it many times for the Green Bay Packers. I'm going over 37.5 receiving yards today, and I would play this all the way up to 41.
Okay, very good. And don't forget a reminder, if you are a SportsLine member, and there's never been a better time to join than right here, right now, you will get the Donkey Parlay early this year because it's now part of what Mikey does at SportsLine. So a little added value for all of you. Now, speaking of added value, my man RJ White making picks on the Mega Preview on Tuesday. We've got all of those making picks end of the week, but it's today that the man really makes his hay. So let's start with your play for today. RJ, what do you got?
I got the under in the Bucs-Cowboys game. It's at 50.5 right now. There's offensive line issues on both sides at tackle for the Cowboys, which has been documented thoroughly. Also in the middle for Tampa Bay. You know, they're turning over the entire interior of their offensive line after that Ryan Jensen injury. So that's going to be tough for them. You know, Brady doesn't like to be pressured up the middle. So we'll see how he handles that. The Dallas wide receiver depth chart is pretty bare behind CeeDee Lamb, though Dalton Schultz is going to help there. But they might be starting Noah Brown as a number 2 receiver, which is not what you want to see. Tampa Bay should have Chris Godwin. It looks like he is going to play in this game. I expect his snaps to be limited, and it wouldn't shock me if he only got 12, 15 snaps, as they give him a little bit of work, but they don't want to risk re-injury. Dallas defense plays much better at home, 10 points per game better last year. So I think you may be able to get 51 ahead of the game when the public is hitting the over and pushing that up a little bit. So this one might be worth waiting on, but I went ahead and locked it in at 50.5. I think this game looks to be a clear under to me.
And I think that we will 100% talk about this pick tonight at 7:30 p.m. time. And Alex in the chat is already getting everybody worked up for our 2 live streams later today. But as Jay said, sometimes it's good to get early. Sometimes it's better to wait until closer to showtime. Now, it's named the Maestro spot for a reason because he's earned it through the first 2 NFL seasons. But Maestro, you're always telling us it's not about what you've done. It's about where you're going. So today, right here, right now, line in the sand, the floor is yours.
All right, let's go with 3 props, starting with Patrick Mahomes, over 2.5 touchdown passes, plus 135. This is great value. He's the best week 1 quarterback we've ever seen. He's gone over this all 4 years that he started week 1. He's the best September quarterback. That Arizona secondary is not good. They lost the starting corner to a tragic cooking oil accident. He's got severe burns. Another corner is questionable. I just think it sets up beautifully for a nice statement game where Tyreek Hill said Patrick Mahomes needs him. I think Patrick Mahomes shows he doesn't need him all that much, at least in week 1. Number 2, A.J. Brown. You give a first rounder and a third rounder, and then you build an offense around this guy. They are going to feature him. I'm going over 65.5 receiving yards against this Lions secondary. He has a tremendous matchup against these corners. They have just been raving about him, and I don't think they're going to be as run-heavy as everyone assumes. I think they're going to come out throwing the ball because Jalen Hurts is taking the next step this season. So I love A.J. Brown over 65.5. And then the other one is Robbie Anderson under his receiving yards. I got it at 33.5. I would go down to 31.5. This guy talked about maybe he might retire. He had a quad issue. He's coming off career lows. He's got Baker Mayfield throwing it to him, but I think Baker Mayfield is going to be looking at Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. And the secondary for the Browns is top-notch. Denzel Ward will be on Robbie Anderson a lot of this game, so I'm going under Robbie Anderson receiving yards.
When somebody talks about being or thinking about retirement, that is usually our cue to bang those unders until he gets benched around week 7 or week 8, because he was thinking about retirement. All right, we've still got a lot to get to, but grab those paper, grab those pencils. Here is the recap courtesy of AB, and this is a screen. Digest it. Let it all sink in. Let it all sink in. And we're going to bring AB on first. AB, show your face. I want to see that fat smile that I love so very much. All right, so we just saw the recap page. We'll put it back up, but you have a couple of new plays today. I would love for you to give them out right now, and then we will continue with something else, something new we're doing. What do you got, AB?
You know what, Coach? I'd love to give them out right now. And real quick, when we put the recap screen up, you will see the green highlighted. Those are today's plays so that you can distinguish quickly exactly what we have. But also what needs to be distinguished quickly today is the no-fly zone. All right, you already saw Justin Fields for playing the interception. All right, you've already saw Baker Mayfield play the over interception. We're adding 2 more. Joe Flacco, New York Jets. Who's he going up against? Oh, I don't know. John Harbaugh, who knows everything about him. He's going to put one up in the air. And we're also going to go Tua Tagovailoa for 2 reasons. One, I think this Dolphins offense and their new head coach, they're going to be pressing a little bit. And number 2, no pick on the game. But I will say this. New head coaches do not usually fare well against Bill Belichick and his defense. Tua will put one up in the air. So those are our 2 we're adding today.
And, well, by the way, we cashed those 2 props on Thursday night in what, the first quarter? Early second quarter, maybe? Something like that? All right, So let's put the recap screen back up there. And we start doing our NFL plays on Tuesday on our mega preview. So, RJ, I want to come to you. Of your plays, I want to talk about line movement, things you've seen, or maybe an interesting trend with any of your picks.
Yeah, the Eagles line, we put it in at -4 back on Tuesday. Now it's up to 5.5 as people are hammering the Eagles. They see what we saw earlier in the week. They see that this is a very complete team. And when I was talking on the Pick 6 podcast, I said I didn't understand why this wasn't giving the credit as to the the Baltimore line, the San Francisco line, those kind of road favorites that are very good teams and they're favored by 5.5, 6, 7 points. So it looks like the Eagles are trending in that direction. The Cardinals line, we gave out a +6. We thought that line move was a little suspicious after moving up from 3.5. Well, it looks like it's at 6.5 now. So if you didn't get it then, you could probably get a little bit better value now. It just seems like that is a very high line, even with the injuries that the Cardinals are dealing with. Zach Ertz looked like he will play today, by the way.
Oh, very good. Renault in the chat says, Coach, my 11-year-old daughter always sits with me while watching the show, and she always says, it looks glorious. Well, to your 11-year-old daughter, good morning, young lady. Thanks for watching the early edge. Now, Maestro, anything on your plays that you find peculiar?
I find it striking. You can't get my 2 plays anymore because the Vikings are now the favorites in that game. The Green Bay is going to be missing Bakhtiari and Jenkins and Lazard. And the Chargers are up to 3.5. Still like the Chargers at that number, but just don't love it the way I did at -3. So I guess this is a good promotion for watching it early.
You're damn right. It's every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. You got to get these lines in because they move, but they also move ahead of time. So bring me back on screen. One thing we're going to start this year, because it's never too early to start looking ahead. It's never too early to look at lines that maybe are good today, and maybe by Monday night, maybe by Tuesday morning, they've already moved. So we're going to have RJ every week do a little look ahead. So RJ, when you dove into week 2, what did you see?
Yeah, this show is the early edge, and you can't get more early of an edge than betting the week 2 lines before Sunday's action because these lines will come off the board as the books wait to see what happens. Then they will repost them Sunday night. Some of these numbers are not going to be available. The one I like is Saints +3 against the Buccaneers, which you can get at -120. Tampa has had major issues with New Orleans even at their best, 0-4 in the regular season the last 2 years. But I do expect Tampa to struggle in week 1. I mentioned that with the offense earlier. If that New Orleans defense shines against Atlanta, this +3 is going to vanish pretty quickly with the Saints being at home, considering their track record against Tampa. So if you want the 3, you have to get it in now. And then you look at my teaser here. The Steelers are at +7.5. I think Pittsburgh might be competitive versus Cincinnati in week 1, but this is all about New England. New England's gone through the 3 at Miami, and I think that game could get ugly for the Pats offense. If they look bad, they're not going to be favored at Pittsburgh in that game unless Pittsburgh's offense looks like a complete train wreck. Then you look at the Week 1 Thursday teams. They performed very, very well against the spread in Week 2, and Buffalo looked great against the Rams. I think that line is at 7.5 now. It should be 9.5. It might reopen at 9 if Tennessee struggles today. The Week 2 line is going to be at 9 at least, and this teaser is going to be gone. So if you want to put this teaser in and you want to tease the Bills, I think you're kind of on a ticking time clock here to do it, because the Bills aren't going to be available at 7.5, 8.5 before by the time we get to Sunday night.
And before I hear anybody said, but Coach, my money's going to be sitting there for a week. What do we preach all the time? Money management. You got to be able to make the picks when you want to make them, but you got to bankroll yourself and do it smartly. I love the look ahead. We're going to do it every single week. Something new here. We're going to add to the early edge. But with that being said, with 2 more live shows to do today, there's only one thing left to do right here and right now, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. M Square, Maestro, the stoic one, RJ White, AB on the 1s and the 2s. I am the coach. Tell all your friends. You want to have fun? You want to know that daughters are watching with their dads? Everybody's invited to the early edge. Good luck.